So welcome everybody to the Finance Committee meeting of February 7th, 2022. In attendance, we have Todd Dargy, Sherry Zarella Burke, Cheryl Zarella Burke, Michael Bennett, John Smalling, myself, Tom Connolly, and I think that's everyone. Also in attendance, Linda Cole and Sandy Nolan, and some members of the public. I think first order of business is acceptance of minutes from the January 31st, 2022 meeting. Could I get a motion?
Motion to accept.
Second.
Thank you, Cheryl. And a roll call vote. Michael Bennett?
Yes.
Cheryl?
Yes.
Todd?
Yes.
John? John, you're on mute.
One of them. Oh, there's only one John left. Okay.
Only have one John now, but he's on mute. And myself, Tom Connolly. And I think we have a quorum to accept.
We do, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll presume John's abstaining or having technical difficulties, so we'll move forward with acceptance of the minutes, so the motion carries. Thank you all. The only thing we really have on the budget this evening is to update one another on the fiscal 23 budget. And so I thought what might be helpful, Linda and I spoke earlier today, and Chief is going to come in next Monday and talk us through his budget a little bit. Let's wait for Cheryl to come back.
Well, if I can interject for 1 second with her. The chief actually now ended up sending me another email tonight asking if he could postpone until the 28th because he's got the same conflict next Monday that he has this Monday.
Okay.
And then we have the 21st off, so he has to go on the 28th.
Right.
So.
Okay. So what I was going to propose, thinking that he was going first, and he could still go first, is that beginning the week after the President's Day break, that we have each of the department heads come in and just do a quick kind of run through of their budget, particularly those that are expressing the need for increases. I know Chief next week, he's got an 8% wage increase in the police budget that, from what I'm seeing so far. So we need to kind of hear the background on that. Looks like he's going up on full timers, down on part timers, and he's got a big overtime, not that he spoke to us about last week, that he's going to have to cover. So what I thought we might do tonight is just quickly take inventory and see where we are with each of the budgets. I've gone kind of through them all, and I get the general sense of where they are. And then we should invite the department heads in beginning on the 28th to kind of spend 10 minutes walking us through each of their budgets. That sound like a way to proceed?
Good idea.
Okay, so I'm just going to start at the top. Of course, our town accountant's budget has come in spot on, flat, nothing doing. So any, I think, Todd, I'm walking through your departments right now since you're at the top of the list. So I think that one's pretty straightforward. I haven't seen anything from Holly Mary yet for assessors. And some of these, Sandy, I'll just ask you if it's in the, maybe I missed it in the OneDrive, but I didn't see Holly's budget yet.
There. I can get them. I can make sure I'll double
Okay,
check.
so maybe you just make a note of which ones we didn't see. Board of Health looks like it's going up roughly 1%, so they're doing okay. The building inspector, I haven't seen Jim Perry's budget yet. Or the tax collector.
Oh, I know those are in there.
Okay.
I'll just take a quick, you keep talking.
Okay. Maybe I just missed those.
So the tax collector would be with treasurer and collector?
Got it. Okay, so we may have just missed that one. Board of Selectmen, I know, is in there. The town clerk is going up next year, and it's entirely due to the midterms. So she's got extra. I don't know who's on the call tonight, but she's going to have have to do that, but we should invite her in just to talk us through that. Good due diligence, but it's kind of obvious why she needs the extra money because she's got an election to run next year. I didn't see anything for the appeals board. Oh, so now I'm on to John's. And Todd, sorry, let's stop there. Is there anything about the budgets that you're looking after? Have you talked to people yet? Is there anything about those yet that's surprising to you?
Yeah, no, I've talked to just everybody on their budgets. There wasn't anything really surprising, other than the election stuff,
Yeah.
wasn't obviously planned for previously. So, and then there was some capital requests, which were kind of the bigger items, which I know we have a meeting on Wednesday to step through some of
cover
those. So, yeah, that was the majority of the move.
Okay, so John, on your list, appeals board, I didn't see anything in the OneDrive yet, Sandy, for appeals.
For appeals, that'd be zoning board. Yeah, I'm looking at it and that's funny because I was just gonna go ahead and upload a file and oh, there it is. All right. All right, no, I'll get that one too.
Okay, conservation looks flat. Okay, John. I thought I heard a comment.
No, oh, sorry, that was me. No, I think the zoning board's out there. It's under ZBA budget submission, let's say. It's either in the
Yeah,
folder.
we haven't got the zoning yet, but thanks under ZBA.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay, conservation's out there and it's flat, so it looks like it's small, but they look like they're doing okay. Planning board, is that ZBA?
No, planning board is separate.
Okay, I haven't seen that one. Halifax and Lights, presume they have a separate budget for that. I haven't seen that one, but that might be tiny and just missed it. Chief Riveros has got holidays in Halifax in there. That one's flat.
Halifax, yeah, right.
See it?
No, I was gonna say Halifax and Lights, I thought I know that they were trying to level fund, but last year they didn't get any money, so I went to level fund the year before. So that might have been the confusion.
That might be why. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't see, I saw holidays and had Chief Riveros has got holidays in Halifax in, that's level funded, so small, but it's in there.
Yep.
Housing Authority, Weights and Measures, and Youth and Rec. I didn't see anything yet for those, Sandy.
No, Youth and Rec we have not gotten yet. What were the other two?
Weights and Measures and Housing Authority.
Weights and Measures, I have not gotten anything. And Housing
Okay.
Authority is always just $1. So
Ah,
they
got
don't
it.
really submit one.
Fine, okay. So that lights John's load there. COA is pretty much flat. It's up 0.5 percentage point, looks like. So that one, Cheryl, now we're on to yours.
Okay.
The fire chief looks flat. And police looks like it's up only on that wage line.
Gonna be on the wage line, right?
Yeah, they don't come out and help us. So I didn't see building committee, civil defense, or the dog officer, which actually must be in Chief Chavez's
They're all
budget.
in there.
So the building
Yes.
committee is with municipal school building. And the dog officer is with the police.
Right.
Civil defense, is that in fire? That's in Jason, that's Chief Riveros.
Civil defense, yeah.
Okay.
we have that as well.
Okay, so that one must be on the flat for that. So it looks like we've got everything that we need there. Cemetery was flat, highway was flat, recycling was flat, and water was flat, looks like. So Michael Bennett,
Yes.
your job is done. Good job.
Thank you. Thank you.
I haven't been able to connect with Mike O'Brien. We've traded voicemails back and forth. So I'll make sure I cover his budgets. I didn't see anything for veteran services.
Veteran services, I haven't, I just talked to the veterans agent this week on the end of last week. He is level funding everything, but I'll bring the files over.
Okay.
soon.
Okay, but he's level, but we're doing that. Okay. Historic Commission and Historic District, both small, both tiny, both came in flat. And Jean came in up 1% on the library, so we're close there. And I didn't see Parks yet.
Parks I do not have yet.
Okay,
I know Parks is looking to talk to Mike O'Brien because I think that the Board of Health was recommending that they put porta potty down at the beach, and that would significantly raise their budget because their budget's so small.
so
So
tiny.
that's probably what he's holding on for.
Okay, I'll call Tom Schindler then and talk to him about that.
Oh, perfect. He'll be happy
Okay.
to talk to somebody.
All right, good. And then we have the two beasts. So just, I want to make sure I understand the preliminaries that I'm seeing. So Halifax Elementary, looks like it's up $800,000,
Yeah, pretty much.
up 7.7%.
Right. Now, that's their initial budget.
Yeah.
And usually they will do a second go at it. I know they're meeting tonight, so I don't,
Okay,
who has the school? Is that you, Tom?
that's me, yeah.
Yeah, so if you reach out to the business manager or the school committee,
After
Yeah.
tonight, they're meeting tonight, so
Yeah.
it's probably second round. Okay.
well, that's what I'm hoping tonight will be second round.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all right. All right, because that's up, looked like $795,000, which is hefty.
Yeah.
I think
It's
historically
no, I
they've
think
waited.
you're looking at, yeah. So that's combined, so that's 139,604 is for just the elementary school costs. $223,044 is special needs tuition, and 316,723 is what I have for special needs transportation. That's the big one. Because what happened is they lost a couple of companies that used to do transportation. So they were stuck using just one company, and the prices went way up. They are looking for a solution, but basically their budget this year for FY22 is already over. So they're having an issue.
And
That's
it's,
why
and it
went up
sounds like
so
it's part census, part price. Census is going up. We have more kids in
Right, but
special ed
this is-
transport.
But this is special needs. I'm not sure that our census has gone up that much. From
Okay.
what I'm hearing is that it's
Oh, price.
the price. It's the fact that we've lost vendors. So
Okay. We'll trace that. And then Silver Lake,
Silver Lake
just-
is at level funded, but that's only because we have not gotten their budget, our assessment from them yet.
yeah. I mean, the preliminary budget looked up about 4%, $1 million,
Mhm.
which our end would be 350-ish. Is that about right?
Yes, that's what Gordon had said.
Okay. So, I mean, we have a couple of spots where the budget is significantly over. We should probably focus on those and invite them to come on the 28th. Maybe we only do two at the most. I mean, maybe we reserve the 28th for Chief Chavez, and then perhaps we do two others the following week, and then two more after that. But we'll focus on the ones that are increases, but also leave school. Sandy, advice on school. It seems like the budget is like this, and then there's a wish list budget, and then it seems to come down as things kind of get worked through. Should we rely on that, or should we ask someone to come in earlier rather than later?
Have someone come in, and I would make sure that they are working on version 2.
Okay.
Usually they do for the school committee, they go back to the drawing board, but I don't know
Yeah.
where the school committee is on it. So I think
Okay.
it would be smart to have someone come in.
Okay, good. Perhaps we do that one the third week, because we could we could do all of the smaller departments in town, do Chief Chavez on 28th, following week, get the smaller departments done. Then the week after that, start looking at tackle the big one, which is schools.
Tom, I'm
That
just,
sounds good.
sorry,
Yolanda.
sorry, Sandy. I'm just noticing, were you going through the liaison list as you were doing that, right?
Yeah,
You know what just popped to me because I think we're missing a budget and you didn't mention it. Data processing is not on our liaison list. That is maybe something we should be adding to somebody. Because I expect a big budget.
it's not here, but you know, I thought we'd just make Caesar nervous because he's listening and thought that maybe it would.
Yeah, so that I have that under my bucket. So I met with Caesar.
Oh,
and
good.
Gordon
Okay,
and
thank
gone
you,
through it. So
Todd.
yeah, I think
Oh, thanks, Todd. It's not on the list, so that
Yeah,
was
it's
where I
not
was
on.
relying. Okay.
yeah, no,
Thank
I've
you,
had
Todd.
multiple discussions with Caesar. There's a modernization that we want to do, but I don't think we're going to have funding for this year. So Caesar's just reworking the budget to be level funded. So once he has that, then share it accordingly.
And I will put that on the list for next year under
Yeah.
that same grouping. Thank you.
All
And
right,
we
sure,
should
yeah.
say too, I think we should reserve time for the group to have Caesar kind of talk us through what the implications of that are. I mean, the legal, regulatory, cyber, and kind of tech load that we keep pushing onto that department just keeps getting bigger. And I think it's just one of those places where it's almost pay me now or pay me later. And paying them later will be a bad thing. It'll be a cyber lockup like what happened to a couple of the hospitals over the last few weeks or something like that will just be really ugly for us all to deal with. So I think it would be good to have Caesar come in and talk us through his budget in one of these sessions, just so that we understand what the trade-offs are for level funding there. There may be nothing we can do about it this year, but we should at least understand it better.
Tom, it's Caesar. I just wanted, and to Todd, I just finished my
Oh,
rework today. Todd, I'll call you tomorrow and
okay,
we
perfect.
can
Yeah.
set up a time, whether it be tomorrow or later this week, to go over everything. But I have it broken down as we talked about a couple weeks ago.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, and then do we want to schedule him now, I guess, to come back for, because it's probably going to be one of the, there's a lot to talk through for sure in that budget, because there is a lot of impacts with level funding. So
Yeah, I mean, why don't we do that one the week after the 28th?
Or do you want them on the 28th as well if you're doing?
Actually,
the-
we may, yeah, if we could do chief and do IT on the 28th, that would be good.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to skip over wage and personnel discussions. I don't think there's anything, it's on the agenda as a standing item, but I don't think there's anything we have to cover this evening.
Actually, Tom, I did wage and personnel related a few things. One, I was going through the wage and personnel bylaw, and my position is not listed at all. In theory, I don't exist. So I just wanted to, I already brought it to the Board of Selectmen's attention, but I
Yeah.
figured I'd bring it to the other half of wage and personnel, so that way it could be addressed. I also wanted to ask about the recording secretary position from last week. The Board of Selectmen requested that the recording secretary be offered a step 3 versus a step 1 as a job offer.
Yeah, we
The week
voted that.
prior to, the week prior to that, our COA director asked for the same thing, but was
No.
almost put through a hoop.
No, it's a different question, entirely different question. So I'm not sure why you're bringing it up now, but it is an entirely different question, Caesar. We have an approved position for which there is a job redefinition. And I think we found a way to get done what we needed to get done, but there's a different nuance to that. And it had to do with the redefinition of that role. So I think we got her where she needed to get to. And yes, it took hoops to get through, but the question of a standing job description for an authorized position being filled by a more experienced new candidate is a pretty straightforward matter. The redefinition of the role for COA is a more complicated exercise. And I think we navigated that one pretty well. It was
No,
weird.
I
but we
I
got-
would agree. I would agree. And
So-
I guess my concern is the position was never, the decision was it had to go to town meeting. So the job description never changed. And it was decided that the recordings, that the receptionist would keep the same job description with the understanding that it would need to be reclassified down the road.
Right,
But
town
The
meeting.
finance committee still
No.
requested documentation. I'm not saying that I think the finance committee did anything wrong. I think I
Good.
would hate to see, I don't think you guys did anything wrong. I'm glad you guys, approved the request. But again, either the process needs to be a little bit clearer, because I would hate to see other town department heads lose faith in the process and in the wage and personnel committee.
Tom, if I,
Respectfully, Caesar, I think the process went very well. There were two things that needed to be resolved. We got them resolved satisfactorily, but sometimes it's going to take debate and process. I think we were guided through that process well, and I don't think there's any breach of confidence in the process whatsoever in the distinction between what we did last week for Board of Selectmen and what we did previously for the receptionist at COA. Linda, did you have a point?
yes, I think Caesar's question, which he has not asked to me directly, and I certainly could have answered, but I had heard rumor that he was asking questions, was actually about the fact that several times before the meeting with the COA secretary, I had emails where I had asked, and you as the committee, I think I copied you in on some of the emails saying that I had asked for documentation from Darlene as to the reason for the move to the step 3, and she did not provide it ahead of the meeting. So then we had to ask for it in the meeting. As is always the case, I do the same for everybody. I asked for the documentation ahead of the meeting for the Board of Selectmen's at request to move to step 3. And as you know, she provided it ahead of the meeting, which I provided to you ahead of the meeting. So they were both asked for the same documentation. It's just one person did not respond and send it ahead of the meeting, and the other person did. So it
Sure.
was brought up in the meeting that we didn't have anything on the COA one.
I appreciate the clarification. It just did not seem like that during the meeting. That's all.
Yeah, just ask. I could let you know.
I tried.
Oh,
No,
I'm
it
sorry,
was
nobody
helpful. I
asked
mean,
me.
it's a good discussion. We should be, whenever those concerns come up, we should be raising them.
Sure.
Do we have any correspondence this week?
We had no correspondence.
Okay. And I know we have a few people on that are not on the committee. Any public participation or comment that we need to cover? Sue Lawless just took herself off mute, so go Sue.
Hi. So
Hi.
I did just want to bring something to your attention, and I'm not 100% sure yet what's going to happen. But so as you know, we completed the 2020 census, and we didn't have our numbers were well enough that we didn't have to make a third precinct. Okay, so we made precinct 1 and precinct 2. Unfortunately, they did not wait for us to submit those numbers before they drew the legislative lines. That being said, so now we have what is precinct 1, precinct 2, and I'm calling it precinct 2A. Precinct 2A will have to vote for precinct 1 for state reps. So I'm being told, and I haven't 100% confirmed it, that I will need another voting machine set up because they will have to vote separately to avoid crazy confusion. So I haven't gotten prices back yet, but I did look back to see what Barbara paid for the machines when she purchased them, and we think it's around $6,000. I don't know what the numbers are of exactly how many people as to whether or not like I would have to staff a whole nother line to do that, or if it's something that I could, handle. But I just wanted to give you guys a heads up about that because I will need it for the September election.
Sure. So it sounds like the 20K additional year over year that you have in the budget now might go to 26.
Possibly. And I don't even know how far ahead I have to order something like that. So
Right.
like I said, I'm in the beginning of figuring out what's going on, but I just wanted to let you know. And I did say, if I can, I'm not sure if I can make it, but that I'd go to the capital planning meeting about it, so.
So the voting
you.
machine would be an article, Tom. It would go through capital planning.
Through
and-
capital,
And then
okay.
to you.
Okay.
But what I think another point, what she's bringing,
Oh, so it wouldn't be an
Yes.
operating.
not that, but if she needs to have additional staff
Staff.
at the election for that
Yeah.
precinct 2A, then it may affect her operating budget. That's what she's looking into.
Okay. But the net, I mean, our population didn't go up so much that we actually needed a new precinct. So
Yep.
it might be that the same, roughly flat level of maybe some additional, but it's not like we have to add a third. Sounds like. Sue, does that make sense to you?
Right, so we didn't have to make a third precinct. We will have to in 2030. But we had 3.1% growth. So if we average that, it's another 3.1% growth, then we would need it. So
Okay,
the goal was to try to stay at the 2 if we could.
yeah. Okay. Thank you for that. So we'll look for that in capital and possibly the budget you have now going up a little bit. All right. Any other public comment? Okay, could I ask for a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Second,
Okay, a roll call vote. Todd,
Yes.
John? Oh, John's gone.
John's gone.
John had to
Yeah,
leave.
he was having technical difficulties, he
Yeah,
said.
yeah. So Michael,
Yes.
Cheryl,
yes.
and myself, Tom Connolly, motion carries. Thank you, everyone. We will see you next week and we'll all celebrate Valentine's Day together.